Okay, Michael would like to make a claim that the average production is less than 270 shares per hour. So right there, the alternative hypothesis is that the population mean, is less than 270 shares per hour. That's what we should be looking for. Okay, so I think I might have grabbed the correct answers on accident, or maybe this is stated in the problem. But this is right. That's the alternative that I just said. That's because that's what they're trying to test. And the null hypothesis is the status quo hypothesis, assuming that the mean is 270 shares per hour, that there's nothing significant going on here. So at the 5% significance level, that's what alpha equals 0.05 is. It looks like they just gave us the test statistic, and then they're going to ask you to graph it. So in these options, you want to look at your alternative hypothesis. The mean is less than 270. So that means they want us to choose this option. So you got to slide this option selector until you have the left-tailed test. And then what's going on here? So with this graph, you want to make sure. Hey, let's see what the graph is. Okay, the test statistic was, they gave us as negative 1.6. So here, let's fix this graph. We would want it to be drawn negative 1.6 somewhere over here. It looks like Z was selected. I'm going to pause and make sure, see if these are the same things. Okay, so I couldn't find the original file, but if you're given a test statistic of, test statistic, it doesn't say T. T is something you're going to see a little bit later. So negative 1.6, if you look on the graph, negative 1.6 should be, come on, that should be right over here, okay? And then our null hypothesis was that the mean was less than 270, so we want to shade to the left because it's saying less than. Okay. And let's see, they didn't give us the p-value, but I think when you plug this in, it will give you the p-value. Just make sure you also select alpha as 0.05 because that's what they asked us to do up here. But I think, if I remember correctly, in Newton, when you drag your test statistic over to the correct spot, it'll spit out the p-value. I don't know off the top of my head if negative 1.6 is significant for 15 hours. Oh wait, it says 252 chairs. Okay, so it depends on the p-value for your next selection. Okay, if your p-value was actually 0.166, there is not significant evidence. Your p-value has to be less than alpha. Okay, so if your p-value is greater than alpha, it means there's not sufficient evidence. So it would be one of these two. Okay, so let's say this is your p-value. I'd want to pick either this top one or this bottom one, and to know which one is correct, let's read. There's not sufficient evidence to conclude the average production rate. This one says less than 252 chairs per hour, but we were asked to test the hypothesis that it's less than 270 chairs per hour. So 252 chairs per hour was our sample mean. We never make a statement about the sample mean. We make a statement about the population mean. So if that was our p-value, the one I circled is the correct answer because it's talking about the population mean. Let's say our p-value, though, was 0.012. That p-value is now less than the alpha they gave us. So therefore, we do reject the null hypothesis. There is sufficient evidence. And again, it would not be this one because 252 was the value we got from our sample. Our hypothesis statement is always about the population value, the one they're trying to compare it to at the beginning of the test, 270. So if it was 0.02, that would be our conclusion.